Hi, welcome to the Nutella Dilemma, the podcast that explores the sweet and sticky world of Nutella, one spoonful at a time. I'm Usama Ajmal, your host and a Nutella enthusiast turned skeptic, and I'm here to unravel the secrets behind this beloved hazelnut spread. In today's episode, we are diving headfirst into the creamy controversy surrounding Nutella. While it's undeniably delicious, there are some compelling reasons why you might want to reconsider that next indulgent scoop. From its questionable nutritional profile to its environmental impact, we'll uncover the facts and myths surrounding this iconic spread. But before we jump into the nitty gritty details, let me share a bit about myself and why I decided to start this podcast episode. Like many of you, I grew up savoring Nutella on toast, pancakes, and even straight from the jar. It was a childhood favorite, and I couldn't resist its allure. However, as I delved deeper into the ingredients and the broader implications of my Nutella habit, I realized that there is more to this hazelnut spread than meets the eye. So, in this episode, we'll explore the different facets of this topic, from its history and ingredients to the health concerns and ethical considerations surrounding its production. Our goal is not to condemn Nutella but to shed light on the complexities and controversies surrounding it, helping us to make more informed choices about what we eat. So, if you're a Nutella lover looking to satisfy your curiosity, or someone who's on the fence about including it into their diet, this podcast is for you. Let's embark on this flavorful journey together and discover the truth behind the Nutella dilemma. Stay tuned for this episode, where we'll dive into the origins of Nutella and its rise to a global startup. Don't forget to subscribe and join our community on different social media platforms. Your feedback and questions will guide our exploration, so feel free to reach out with our thoughts and Nutella related experiences. Okay, let's roll. What is Nutella? Nutella is a sweetened hazelnut cocoa spread made by Ferrero, an Italian company that's the third largest chocolate producer in the world. It was originally created in Italy during World War II when baker Pietro Ferrero, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, added ground hazelnuts to a chocolate spread to make up for a shortage of cocoa in the country. Today, people around the world consume Nutella, and it continues to grow in popularity. This chocolate and hazelnut spread is consumed in many ways and commonly used as a topping for breakfast toast, pancakes, and waffles. Although Nutella is currently classified as a dessert topping, Ferrero has been pushing to have the spread reclassified as a breakfast topping similar to a jam. This change may not seem important, but it could have a major impact on how consumers perceive its nutritional value. This change in classification would cut the serving size required on Nutella's nutrition label from 2 tablespoons, which is 37 grams, to 1 tablespoon, which is 18.5 grams. If this happens, customers who don't read the nutrition information carefully may perceive that Nutella is relatively low in calories, sugar, and fat, when these numbers would be low due to the small serving size. Nutella commercials focus on advertising the spread as a quick and healthy option for breakfast, especially for children. However, due to its high amount of sugar, it may not be the best way to start your day. So let's have some nutritional facts about Nutella. As per USDA, 100 gram of Nutella contains the nutrients like energy, 541 kilocalorie, carbohydrate, around 62.16 gram, protein, about 5.41 gram, fats around 32.43 grams, fiber around just 2.7 grams, calcium 108 milligram, sodium 41 milligram, iron 1.95 milligram. Let's talk about the ingredients. Sugar. The first ingredient in Nutella is, of course, refined sugar, and not a small amount of it. In fact, 2 tablespoons, just 2 tablespoons of this chocolatey spread contains 21 grams of sugar, or 5 cubes of sugar. That's more than most candy bars and donuts. On top of that, this sugar is not organic and likely comes from sugar beets, resulting in a highly refined sugar that often contains large amount of pesticides. Hardly a healthy food. So if you wouldn't eat a candy bar for breakfast or feed one to your child, then skipping the Nutella is probably a good idea too. There is definitely a time and a place for sugar consumption, in moderation of course, but it's important to choose organic and non-GMO sugar. Palm oil. This is the biggest problem with Nutella's ingredient, and the reason that France Ecology Minister Ségolène Royal, I hope I'm pronouncing this name, French name right, has called for a boycott on this popular dessert. Why? Because this conflict palm oil is harmful to the planet, to the body as well, and to the planet as well. Palm oil is an ingredient in many commercial foods, and most of the world's supply is harvested in Southeast Asia and contributes to deforestation, habitat destruction, water pollution, and human rights offenses. Thankfully, not all palm oil harvesting is harmful to the environment, and properly sourced palm oil can be a very nutritious ingredient. A recent campaign called Palm Done Right works to raise awareness about properly sourced palm oil and encourages consumers to choose ethical and healthier options. Another ingredient, soy lecithin. Soy is a controversial ingredient on its own, but unless it comes from an organic source, soy is highly sprayed crop and is processed with hexane, a harsh solvent and byproduct of gasoline. There are healthier alternatives from foods like sunflower seeds, which don't carry the same problem. Okay, soy also contains xenoestrogens, which are potent endocrine disruptors. In fact, many experts think that these xenoestrogens may be partially to blame for rising rates of reproductive issues. Another ingredient is known as commercial dairy. Nutella also contains non-organic skimmed milk powder. Don't get me wrong, I have no problem with ethically sourced dairy, but that isn't what you'll find in Nutella. Commercially sourced dairy comes from cows raised in terrible conditions and fed GMO grains and antibiotics. On top of that, it is pasteurized and homogenized. By the time it becomes milk powder, it is also full of oxidized cholesterol, which is one of the most harmful types of cholesterol. Another famous ingredient of Nutella, hazelnuts. Hazelnuts are wonderful and nutritious food that originated near the Black Sea. Unfortunately, many modern hazelnuts grown in the US and Canada are sprayed with commercial pesticides. Always choose organic hazelnuts to avoid pesticide contamination. Another famous ingredient is cocoa powder. This is another nutritious food that does have a place in a healthy diet. Is cocoa. Unfortunately, much of the world's supply is harvested in unethical ways, including slave labor and child labor. Most of us don't realize while we are boosting our PMSing serotonin levels with chocolate that we are also contributing to child slave labor. It is ironic and sad that the treats that are loved and consumed by women and children in the United States are produced with forced child labor and child slavery. Okay, all the health pros and cons side. I refuse to buy or consume any products that came from the work of children forced into the slavery and inhumane condition. Okay, now we have another ingredient, vanillin. It would be easy to glance over this ingredient and assume it was just a technical name for real vanilla. It isn't. Real vanilla is essentially a tincture made from vanilla beans. It has wonderful flavor and even contains some B vitamins. Wow! Vanillin isn't so wholesome. It is artificial vanilla flavor combined with sugar or corn syrup. In stores, it is sometimes called imitation vanilla. The artificial vanilla flavor is sometimes derived from food things like wood pulp, hardly what I want in food. So, should I or should you eat Nutella? Like any high sugar food, Nutella should be viewed as a threat. The problem is that people often use it more as a breakfast spread than a dessert. Consuming Nutella every day will increase the amount of added sugar in your diet, and most people already consume much more added sugar than is recommended. For example, the average American adult consumes 19.5 teaspoons, which is 82 grams of added sugar per day, while children consume 19 teaspoons, which is around 78 grams. You should limit the amount of sugar in your diet whenever possible by eating less sugary foods and reducing the amount of sweetened drinks in our diet. So that's all in this episode. I hope you like it. Share it with your friends and family. Stay sugar free.